This is Nick with Redacted Arms. We're going to be teaching you how to install the AK Super Safety. So first, you want to pull everything out of your firearm. I pulled the retainer plate out, the trigger pin, and the hammer pin. Just pulled it straight out. Same with the safety selector. Let's focus on getting the cam, which is this piece, onto the safety selector. These are slightly tighter than your safety selector. We do that because every brand is different and we want to work with as many possible brands as we can. So what you want to do is you're popping the safety selector straight into the cam like that. You want it to poke all the way through and for this to sit flush. So in order to do that, we either need to file the inside of here slightly or sand the outside of here slightly. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. I'm not going to file this. You are more than welcome to. I just want to be able to put this in multiple different AK platforms. It's easier for me to file this, and then if I file too much, I can get a replacement. Just wanted to show you guys, this is all I'm doing. So I'm folding a little bit of sandpaper, 120 grit, putting this in here, and then just twisting it. Give it a couple twists, see how it fits. Still needs a little bit more. You want to get it to about here. So you can see we sanded that down a little bit. You want to take your cam, should be able to go on just like that, wiggle around. Now that this is done, what we're going to do is modify the trigger. This is an FIME. We get the packaging. Is exactly what I get. So you want to take the trigger and then you want to take the included jig. All you're going to do, snap them together like that. And then this little corner that's sticking up, you just want to round that off. What I recommend is do not go close to the jig, just get it round to start. Put everything inside of your AK. Test it and then go from there. If you need to round it more, round it more. If not, leave it be. The only reason I say that is because just like the MP5s, AKs aren't always perfectly in spec because it's just not the same as a AR-15 platform. It's folded sheet metal. So you want to make sure that you're only rounding that slightly. You just want to get that radius cut, same radius that's on the jig, not necessarily to the jig, and then just keep trial and error, putting it in, testing it out, taking it out, filing a little bit more, and continuous, just to make sure it's going to work with your exact AK. So I'm going to go ahead, just get this set up, and I'm going to start dremeling it so you can see. Guys, the Walmart Dremel does wonders. I mean, look at that. You have a chew mark out of the sanding wheel. We're still going to hit it. So right about there, we're gonna stop. As you can tell, we're not, let's see if I can focus, not even anywhere near the jig. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw it in, test it out, see if it works. I'm not gonna show you guys all of that because I wanna just show you the progressing from a perfectly rounded trigger. But we're gonna go ahead and test that, and if I have to round it more, I'll let you guys know. So I did end up having to round it a little bit more, but again, it's worth the struggle of putting it back in and taking it back out just to be sure. But now that you got it kind of where you want it, I like to take like 600 grit and then 1200 grit and just smooth it out, make sure everything's nice and smooth and it functions perfect. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that and then show you guys how to put it inside the gun. Now that you have your trigger all rounded and installed, you want to take the titanium retainer plate that's included. Use the included retainer plate, not your old retainer plate. So you want to take it and install it just like any other retainer plate. There's plenty of videos online on how to do that. Now that we got the retainer plate installed, we're going to install our trip bar. Super simple. Just come over here, and with the fin, you just want to make sure that's in front of the retainer plate. Put the hammer back, might make your life easier. Push it up against the rails just like that, and that's how it sits. It's going to be loose in there, so keep in mind if you turn your gun on its side, it's going to fall out. So you just want to pop it in right there. Take that, get your safety selector and your cam. At this point in time, I do know that the Palmetto, the GF3, requires 4 shims usually. So I'm going to empty out my shims. There's 5 included. I'm going to take 4 of them. I'm just going to slide them right on the selector. Once I do that, come here, push that in. Then I'm going to take the cam, pop that on slightly, and then maneuver it so I can fit everything inside the hole that keeps the retainer pin or the retainer plate and the selector in. So go ahead and do that now. It takes a little bit of finesse. I'm not going to be able to record it because I need to see what I'm doing, but get that in, push the safety lever down, and then I'll pick it up from there so we can show you how everything should look. So that's how it should look. Cam's in there, trip bar's in there. Something that we have figured out with these Palmettos is this hammer spring that pushes on the trigger sometimes gets caught behind or underneath the trigger. So we just give it a slight bend. Do that however you want. But we do that to make sure that it stays on the trigger and stays out of the way. You just want to make sure after you bend it, you don't impede any travel of anything. We're going to go ahead and do the same with this side, because this side is going to impede on the cam. And like I said, I mean, you saw I literally shoved needle nose in there and gave it a quick rotate on the wrist, and it clears the space up for everything. So now we're just going to go ahead, take this. You want to make sure that the cam is pushed back and it's unlocked. Make sure the trip bar's in there. Just want to put your bolt on like any other 8K. Same with the recoil spring. Now we're going to be dry fire testing it. So this on dry fire test is not going to feel anywhere as smooth as the AR products. It's just the nature of the AK. I promise you, it might feel clunky, but you're not going to have to worry about it not running. So as long as it passes dry fire, I'm going to pull the trigger, and then you'll rack it back. There you go. This is only 2 position, so it's safe and super safe. So keep that in mind. You're not going to have to worry about anything else, but just keep a solid, firm pressure on the trigger, about as much as it takes to break it. Just keep racking it. See how it functions. And just like that, shooting a super safe AK. We're going to take this to the range. We're going to test it out and show you guys a little shooting clip right here. This is Nick with Redacted Arms. Now that we got the AK Super Safety loaded up, we got 10 rounds. Let's give it a whirl.